spiral arms, but never had they witnessed such unanimous disdain as when Cadet Marcus Chen stepped off the transport shuttle. His homeworld, Earth, classified as a Class 12 death world, was a nightmare of crushing gravity, volatile weather, and predators that hunted in packs. Most civilized species wouldn't survive a standard rotation there. The Velkari, crystalline beings from a low-gravity moon, chimed with laughter that sounded like breaking glass. "Look at the density of its bone structure," one transmitted telepathically, making no effort to shield the thought from Marcus. "It's built like a siege weapon, not a soldier." Commander Thexelos, a towering Zenthari with forearms and skin like burnished copper, reviewed the human's file with undisguised skepticism. Earth's atmospheric composition was toxic to most species without filtration. Its surface temperature fluctuated wildly. Even its microbial life was aggressive enough to be classified as a biohazard. "Cadet Chen," Thexelos rumbled, "you understand that 70% of Deathworlders wash out in the first lunar cycle? Your kind lacks the mental sophistication required for modern warfare." Marcus stood at attention, his dark eyes betraying nothing. "Understood, sir." The mockery intensified during basic training. While other cadets interfaced with combat simulations through neural links, Marcus had to use primitive manual controls. His neurology was too chaotic, too flooded with stress hormones and primal responses. The graceful Sylphine cadets, who could calculate firing trajectories through pure mathematical intuition, whispered that humans were barely better than their own animals. Physical trials were worse. The Academy's standard gravity was 0.6 Earth normal, designed to accommodate the majority of species. Marcus moved through it like he was underwater, his movements appearing sluggish compared to the Velkari's floating grace, or the Zenthari's explosive power. During obstacle courses, he consistently placed in the bottom quartile. "Perhaps you should return to your mudball planet," sneered Cadet Zixthar, a Velkari with particularly vibrant crystalline facets. "Leave warfare to those evolved for it." Marcus said nothing. He never did. 3 months into training, the Academy received a distress signal. The Krell swarm, a hive-mind species of insectoid raiders, had breached the outer terminus, overwhelming the defense platforms with sheer numbers. It wasn't supposed to be possible. The terminus had redundancies, fail-safes, automated systems that should have held for weeks. Thexulos made the decision that would define his career. The senior cadets would deploy. It was unprecedented, but the regular fleet was scattered across the sector. They had no choice. The reality of combat shattered the cadets' training simulation confidence within minutes. Krell warriors, each the size of a shuttle, poured through breached bulkheads. Their mandibles could shear through combat armor. Their numbers were endless. The neural-linked Sylphine cadets froze as their elegant mathematical models collided with chaos. The Velkari, designed for zero-gravity grace, found their crystalline bodies shattering under the impact of Krell warforms. Zixthar's squad was pinned in Section 7, cut off from retreat. His telepathic screams echoed through every receiver on the station. "We need support. They're everywhere." The transmission cut to static. "All squads fall back to the core," Thexulos ordered, his 4 hands working desperately at tactical displays. "We've lost Section 7. Seal the bulkheads and—" "Negative, Commander." Marcus Chen's voice cut through the chaos with unnerving calm. "Section 7 has civilian researchers." "I'm going in." "Cadet, that's suicide." "You'll—" But Marcus was already moving. What the galactic species had failed to understand about Deathworlders, about humans specifically, was that their primitive neurology wasn't a weakness. When a Sylphine's mind filled with terror, their mathematical precision collapsed. When a Velkari faced lethal danger, their crystalline structure became brittle with stress. But Marcus Chen's ancestors had been persistence hunters on African plains, chasing prey for days until it collapsed from exhaustion. They had fought cave bears with sharpened sticks and survived ice ages through pure stubborn refusal to die. Fear didn't shut down a human brain, it supercharged it. He hit Section 7 like a kinetic missile. The Krell swarm, accustomed to enemies who relied on technology and distance, encountered something they had no framework for. A predator that fought with calculated violence. Marcus didn't use elegant firing solutions. He used corners, used doors, used the station's own structure as a weapon. When his rifle overheated, he grabbed a Krell's own severed mandible and drove it through another's thorax. He found Zixthar's squad huddled in a research lab, surrounded by Krell warriors. Most species would have tried to shoot their way out, died in seconds. Marcus depressurized the adjacent corridor, blew the bulkhead, and turned the Krell into frozen statues. Then he hauled 6 wounded cadets, including Zixthar, through maintenance tunnels for 47 minutes straight, while Krell reinforcements hunted them. His human endurance, evolved for marathon persistence, carried them all the way to safety. When reinforcements finally arrived and pushed back the Krell, they found Marcus Chen collapsed in the evacuation bay, his body a roadmap of injuries that would have killed most species instantly. He'd lost 30% of his blood. 3 ribs were broken. His left arm was fractured in 2 places. He was still conscious, still holding a makeshift weapon, still ready. The after-action report became legendary. One Deathworlder Cadet had held off an entire Krell breakthrough force, saved 17 lives, and turned what should have been a total massacre into a defensive victory. Commander Thexulos personally delivered his field promotion to officer rank Zixthar, his crystalline body wrapped in healing matrices, approached Marcus in the medical wing. We were wrong about you. About your kind. Marcus, his battered face expressionless, finally spoke the words that would echo through every military academy in the galaxy. You thought we were slow because we move carefully. You thought we were stupid because we prepare for worst-case scenarios. You forgot. Everything on our world is trying to kill us. We don't just survive. We excel in conditions that would break you. 50 years later, Chen's law was taught in every strategic command course. Never underestimate a species that evolved climbing its own food chain. The Galactic Defense Force's most elite unit was named the Deathworld Division, and humans made up its officer corps, and on every ship, in every combat zone when things got desperate, soldiers from 1,000 worlds whispered the same thing. Stay calm. Fight like a human. Marcus Chen's name wasn't just a warning. It was a promise.